All right. Well, we'll go ahead and get going. Hello, everyone. I'm Paul Johnson, President, Colorado School of Mines. I notice President number 16 and his wife Karen are on the Zoom call with us today. So Bill and Karen, great to see you here with us. I also note that Stuart Bliss, founder of the Bliss Scholarship for First Gen students, and I hope maybe Shirley's with us as well. Stuart's former trustee. And a whole slew of other great folks here on this Zoom call with us today. Obviously, this one's in some ways we're sort of celebrating your commitment to Mine students or your interest in supporting Mine students. Establishing a scholarship, supporting a student is probably the most direct way to have an impact on students here at Mines. If you've been following our strategic plan and the work that we're doing leading up to our 150th anniversary in 2024, you'll know that one of our 4 top fundraising priority is financial aid for students. And we've been pretty successful in that. We hope to raise a lot more money as well, because we're attracting a lot of great, wonderful students, and you're going to meet some of them here today. And many of them really can only attend if there is sort of generous support from donors who help them along their way. So anyway, I just wanted to welcome before we get to the panel and the students and everything. Just want to say thank you to everybody for your support of our students. And meeting our students automatically makes you feel great about your support. Elise and I are scholarship supporters as well. And I can tell you, anytime you sit down with a Mine student or get to hear their stories, you know that your financial support is a great investment in the future of the individuals as well as just our world, because they're going to go off and do great things. So thanks so much. And without further ado, I think we should hear from our students and stuff. And I think Dr. Dan Fox, Dan, are you moderating this? And I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, President Johnson. Good early afternoon, Ore Digger Nation. It's good to see you in a manner of speaking. I'm excited that they decided to let me be the moderator for today. And so I'm going to introduce some students here in a moment. If you don't know me, as I said, I'm Dan Fox. I'm the Vice President of Student Life here at Colorado School of Mines. And I get the distinct pleasure of first introducing Dr. Willy Hilman. We're good friends and I hadn't seen him in a while, so it was good to say hi to you a little bit ago, Willy. He is a professor emeritus and a former department head of AMS, which is Applied Mathematics and Statistics. He's also a scholarship donor. So he's going to be providing a bit of his donor perspective on what the scholarship means for him at Mines and as a donor. So without further ado, Willy, I'll turn it over to you and then I'll introduce the students after Willy's done.
Yeah, so first of all, thank you, Dan, for the nice introduction. Hello, everybody, wherever you are on Earth Day. So my name is Willy Hilman. I'm a professor emeritus of the Applied Math and Statistics Department. Actually, I was the founding department head of that department. And, I was also department head at the end of my career. So then am I supposed to do the rest of my presentation at this point? Or just a brief introduction?
No, the floor is yours.
Okay, then I'll keep going. So I want to tell you basically what we have done with the scholarship and how it came about. So my wife, Hilde, and myself grew up in Belgium in basically blue-collar working class families. My father was a steel worker, mom a homemaker, as it was common in those days. My wife's parents were a sales rep and also a stay-at-home mom. So both of us are actually first-generation students, college students, and we're very proud of that. And of course, our parents were incredibly proud of this. We basically studied for free at the university. Throughout our education, we had financial support from government grants, of course, and scholarships. And once I was in my PhD program, I was basically supported on RAs and TAs. And the TAs were quite good. They paid actually the salary that you would get as a high school teacher. So it was not really living on a small stipend, it was decent. So, you know, the most I ever paid for my studies was, I think, a few $100s. And that was the year that I had to pay my tuition as a prospective PhD graduate. And I must say that's about 40 years ago. So I think the $200 is a little bit more now. Several years ago, I joined service to the foundation. I served actually on the faculty and staff giving committee, which was a wonderful experience. I could see firsthand the wonderful things that the foundation and the Mines community at large do to support students. And so Hildy and myself started making plans to pay it forward, in particular to first generation students at Mines. So we thought it would take a few years actually to get an endowed scholarship going, but it did not. We had really help. The Hilman Scholarship Fund was actually established by Dr. Douglas Baldwin, a former master student of mine, and he did it to honor my 30-year service in teaching and research and service at the School of Mines. So I must say this is the retirement gift that keeps giving. So we have been able to support at the moment 1 student per year, not of course the full tuition, but at least part of it. And we have thus far 3 students in total and will continue this in perpetuity. So the scholarship gives the students, of course, the opportunity to focus more on their studies and to have to worry less about how to pay for it all. So in addition to the financial support, Douglas and I provide a bit of coaching to the recipients. We give advice, but as my late dad would say, only when asked. We provide some mentorship follow-up. So last week, for instance, we had a wonderful kind of engaging conversation with Laura Albright, who is this year's recipient of the Hilman Scholarship. And of course, we talk about their emerging career, their studies, their plans, and we offer our perspective as retiree and as in Douglas's case, as basically an alumnus of Mines. So the interactions actually with the students have been absolutely wonderful. We stay in touch with them, and I think that's an important component for any donor, that you kind of see where the dollars go and what the impact is of the scholarships. You know, with the support of the scholarships, Renilde and I have been able to give back to Mines, and I think that's an important component for us. Receiving scholarships as a student was a fantastic experience, but the experience of the joy of giving is even better. We really enjoy that. I think it makes an impact. And so for all of you out there on the call who are considering actually doing a donation, setting up a scholarship, I would say just get it going. You will really enjoy it. So thank you for listening to my story.
That was great, Willie. What a good story. Thanks for sharing that and being authentic. It's pretty amazing. And congratulations, and thank you very much for that. I am going to introduce the students here, and I'm going to kind of give you an idea of what I'll have them kind of convey to each of you out there listening today. So for students, if you would, I'll call you off individually and take some time and share your stories. Would like you to introduce yourself, you know, share the number of years you've been at Mines, where you are geographically and professionally, so where you're from and what you're studying, name of your scholarship, a little bit about that scholarship and what that has meant to you as a scholar recipient. And also, we always love to hear maybe if you can share your favorite experience at Mines, and some of the ways you're still exploring the world and hope to explore beyond that. So those are the things. You may not remember all of them, but you do your best, but we want to really hear from you. So I'm going to have Morgan kick it off. So Morgan, the floor is yours.
Awesome. Thanks, Dan. Yeah, so I'm Morgan Walls. I'm a junior here at Mines. I am majoring in computational and applied mathematics, and I'm minoring in data science. I'm from Littleton, Colorado, so super close. I grew up knowing all about Mines and knowing how great of a school it was. But yeah, so in terms of my involvement on the Mines campus and in the Mines community, I play on the women's rugby team. I'm on the Club Sports Council for Mines, and I am involved in fraternity and sorority life. So the name of my scholarship is the Richard J. Carlson Endowed Rugby Scholarship. And it's for students who play on the rugby team at Mines, which is a club sport. And I know there's 2 other men's rugby players who also have this scholarship. So I started playing rugby here as a freshman. I was completely new to the sport, had no idea really what it was, but it sounded cool. So I did it. And now I'm the current Mines women's rugby president and captain, which is super awesome. And one of my favorite memories from college was in fall 2019, pre-COVID, we got to travel to North Carolina to compete in the USA Rugby National Championship. So now the Mines women's rugby team is 2nd in the nation for Division II. Which is a super awesome accomplishment, I think, because rugby isn't a varsity sport. It is at a couple other colleges that I know of, but it isn't at a lot of colleges. And rugby has given me a lot of friends, a lot of leadership opportunities, and it let me be the Club Sports Council president, which helps run all of the other club sports teams. So it's really opened a lot of doors for me. And I think having a rugby specific scholarship is super awesome, because rugby is such a great community and rugby isn't a varsity sport. So having a scholarship that's kind of geared towards players who play rugby will really help build the program. And we have a lot of students who play rugby who are super passionate about it. And it just means a lot to kind of be recognized, to recognize our hard work and dedication to the sport and everything. So yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Morgan. One quick follow-up. What position do you play, for those of us out here who don't know as much as we should about rugby? And how many positions are there on a rugby team?
Yeah, so I play scrum half, which is kind of like the quarterback if you're comparing it to football. Rugby is kind of a combination between football and soccer. There's 15 players on the field per team, so that's 30 total. So it's a pretty big sport, and obviously it's really popular in Europe and such. But yeah, it's not as big here in America, and it's a super awesome sport, and it does have a really great following and great community. So it'd be cool to see it have a bigger impact on college campuses like Mines.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. Okay, Ergen, it's your chance.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ergin. I'm a PhD student in mining engineering department. But actually, I should correct myself. I'm no longer a student. I actually very recently defended my dissertation, and I will graduate in next month. Thank you. And I've been at Mines for 3 years. I started my education in 2018 in January. And currently, after finishing my studies at Mines, I moved to Tucson, Arizona, and I'll be starting my career with Freeport-McMoRan next month. And a little bit about my scholarship. The name of my scholarship is Annandale James Memorial Scholarship, and this scholarship is given to a student involved in professional organizations such as SME, SW, ASCA. And my involvement was with SME organization. I was student chapter representative for SME Health and Safety Division for 2 years. And it was a lot of fun serving as Health and Safety chapter representative, because I got to know a lot of mining engineering students all over the world. And the impact of the scholarship was huge for me, because due to events following the COVID-19 crisis, I lost my internship, and it was a significant and unexpected financial loss for me. And this scholarship was a huge relief last year. Also, one last note, I met my donor a few weeks ago, and he was basically saying this scholarship was in memory of someone who's been in the mining industry for all his life, and someone who pushed for innovation in mining for a lot of years. And this is also one of my career objectives, and I believe I achieved that objective with my studies at Mines, with my dissertation. So that was a very good memory. So thank you.
Fabulous. And I apologize. I should have addressed you as doctor. My apologies. I was not aware that that had been completed. Congratulations. That's quite an accomplishment.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're very welcome. You earned it. Indy, you're up now.
Hello, everyone. My name is Indiana Chaputra, but I also go by Indy, as many people here know me as. I'm from Meade, Colorado, which is about near around Longmont. I'm a sophomore at Mines, so that's 2 years here, and I'm studying mechanical engineering. So I am a Florence Caldwell Scholar as well as a Vanguard Scholar, and it's impacted my life here at Mines a great deal. So one of the things that it brought me to here, so I definitely wanted to go to Mines because this is one of the best engineering schools all around here, right? And also, when finding out I got this scholarship, it not only provided like a huge financial assistance because my older sister, who's a senior here, gonna graduate and actually in a few short weeks. So it's kind of was tough to put both my sister and I around the same time through college. But it also really helped me to build connections and relationships here because the Florence Caldwell Scholarship is an in-state female scholarship served to empower women within the respected STEM fields. And I've built so many cool connections. And I kind of just want to talk a little how I was able to build those connections through the extracurriculars that I've done here at Mines. So I'm currently involved in the Society of Asian Scientists and Engineers, also known as SACE, and we are under the umbrella of the Multicultural Engineering Program. So I'm currently the secretary for that. And it's been really cool to see us trying to bring Asian representation on campus, as well as trying to enact change of educating people on racism and how we can truly be allies to one another. Actually, there's two other young ladies here, Annie and Morgan, who are also in the sorority Sigma Kappa. And that's how I definitely feel the connection of sisterhood and making other connections with other women on here on campus through Panhellenic connections. Just knowing you have a tight-knit group of women who are just so strong and so smart. It's truly been inspiring. As well, I'm also in the University Innovations Fellows, which is an international organization renowned throughout on college campuses, dedicated to help enact students to make change on campus. And one of the projects that I've chosen to focus on for that is how might we help educate students on how to know what the major that they choose to will apply into the industry. As for jobs, I'm very much grateful for the connections, again, that I've built through Caldwell and Vanguard, because if not for that, I would not have known Dr. Amy Landis, who is one of the faculty involved with Vanguard, because last summer she offered me a research position under her on researching like the retrofits and how these retrofits will improve the energy efficiency overall for homes within Colorado. And as for other work, I've been a teaching assistant here under the Thorson First Year's Honors Program as seminar and design TA. So it's been very gratifying to see students really grow and really be inspired by their work. And that's kind of funneled me into becoming more passionate about academia. And so I've accepted now to work on this collaboration course this summer with EPB, which is the Institut Pertanian Bogor Universitas in Indonesia, under the direction of Dr. Myrna Matjik, to help design a design thinking workshop on how to bring students to analyze problems within a system and to really think outside of the box of how to create these types of solutions and to then present them into stakeholders. So from there, I just want to say I've been so grateful to be a Caldwell and Vanguard Scholar, and I really hope that I've really honored her memories and what she wanted as the first women to graduate from Mines.
Outstanding, Indy. Congratulations on all those things. And thank you for being, like the rest of our students here, such a vibrant and active part of our community. It's what really makes Mines a very unique and special place. I have one question for you, though. We always love when we have siblings on our campus and have family members that come, but who's the better academician in your mind? Is it you or your sister? Remember, we are recording.
Define academician.
Who is the better student in terms of, we'll say grades and learning, because they are two different things in my mind.
I don't I don't want to. She's my older sister. I can't really say much. She's also a chemi, so I think chemi's a lot more difficult than mech. That's just my humble opinion. So I can't really say like who's the harder worker or who's the smarter one. In my head, I think she's the smarter one, but I mean, that's because maybe I'm the younger sibling and I've just been bullied into believing that, but who knows?
Well, I will say that was very diplomatic, and that if you don't want to go into engineering, you might have a future in politics. That was a well-spoken answer without stepping on too many toes. So well done. Next, we have Dane.
Hey, my name is Dane Schuler, and I am a freshman here at Mines. So I started last fall during the pandemic. So far, Mines has been a really fantastic experience coming from Colorado Springs. Not too far away, but Golden's definitely, a little better. Don't tell anyone in the Springs I said that. But as of right now, I'm planning on majoring in geological engineering, and I actually just got into the honors program at Mines. So I will be minoring in public affairs, after a couple more years. But I'm here today because I'm talking about the Charles Smith Memorial Scholarship. And this scholarship was established in the name of a former Mines grad who unfortunately passed away. But last week I was able to meet with Mrs. Smith and one of Chuck's great friends, and just being able to talk with them and make those connections was so big for me. I think networking is a really huge part of having a successful experience at Mines. And I'm just really fortunate to be in such a fantastic school because everywhere I look, there's new opportunities. So specifically, meeting with the donors last week, I was able to really network with them, and we've exchanged some contact information. So I'm really looking forward to kind of using them as mentors in my life, because Charles was such a influential person, in his time as I think he was the CEO. So he definitely found a lot of success. But I just really think that being able to combine what I got out of that scholarship with what I'm doing at Mines right now is going to be super important for me to grow as a person. I'm really looking forward to just everything that Mines has to offer. So far it's been great. I've made some really fantastic friends here, and I'm really looking forward to, seeing what I can do with my life. But, as of right now, as a freshman, it's still, trying to find my spot on campus and really just do everything I can to really stand out as a student and hopefully find a successful career.
That's great, Dane. Thank you very much. And we're all in a unique position as we go through this very unusual year. But as a freshman, you're particularly unique. I'm just curious, what maybe one or two things that really have stood out as good memories for you thus far, despite the unusual way to enter college?
Yeah, so I'd say one of the experiences is just, finding these friends that you live with. So, living in a dorm is a kind of unusual experience because, you go from living at home to living with these strangers that you just met. And it's been really fun because in a span of, almost, like 8 months now, maybe, all of us have grown closer, kind of like a family. So I'm really looking forward to living with some friends next year. But over spring break, I was able to, take my mind off of studies for a little bit, and we took a week-long trip to Moab, Utah, and just to be able to kind of create those bonds and relationships, and kind of nerd out a little bit because I really do love rocks, and Utah has tons of rocks. So anything like that, just being able to, connect with people and just kind of show my passion and really just explore the world.
That's great. Thank you. Appreciate you sharing that. All right, last and certainly not least, Annie, the floor is yours.
Awesome, thank you. Hi there, my name is Annie Welch, and I'm from Denver, Colorado. I'm a first year at Mines, and I'm in the BSE program, which is kind of new. It's a design-based degree. You just get a Bachelor's of Science in Engineering, and I have a focus in community development. So I have 2 scholarships to attend this awesome institution. I'm a Harvey Scholar as well as a Vanguard Scholar like Indy. And it's been really cool to experience kind of the 2 different scholarships at once. Harvey is very established and a very tight-knit community, and it's awesome to be able to meet your donors at least once a month. Hugh and Michelle are awesome people, and it feels really special to be able to talk to them and get to know them and just learn everything that they're doing in their lives, and to just express my gratitude for all that they've been able to do for my life. As far as what I'm involved in at Mines, Indy mentioned I'm in a part of FSL, I'm in Sigma Kappa, and I'm also So Harvey is a service-based scholarship, and that's something that's really important to me. So on campus, I'm also involved in Hike for Help, which is a club that's focused on service in Nepal, as well as sustainability and environmental efforts there. And it was started by the owner of Sherpa House, which is, if anyone is familiar with Golden area, like the best food in Golden. So that's been really awesome to be a part of. I'm the social media director for that. So being able to have a leadership position there, and also in a group that is focused on service is really awesome for me, and helps me feel more connected to the basis of the Harvey Scholarship, which is based on service. And kind of along the lines of what Indy was talking about, being a part of Vanguard was really awesome. Everyone has a introduction class at Mines, just where you kind of learn the ins and outs, learn how to make your schedule. And for Vanguard, you all get to be with your group of other Vanguard scholars. So it's a really nice way to have a support group of female students. And I ended up finding one of my best friends there, and we're going to live together in Sigma Kappa next year. So it's a really great way to meet new people and really feel welcomed at Mines, and find your place. And same as Dane, I also was accepted into the honors program. So I'll be a part of McBride to get a minor in public affairs. So really all of these scholarships have put me in a place where I can really reach out and be a part of tons of different things at Mines, because there's so much to be a part of, and everyone can kind of find their place. So those scholarships allowing me to be here is really awesome. And Mines has been a large part of my family for a really long time. I'm the 8th member of my family to go here, and more directly, my dad and my uncle on my mom's side both came to Mines. So it's definitely a big part of my family. So being able to continue that tradition is awesome. And my family's been fortunate enough to start a couple of smaller scholarships here. So my family has started the Harding West Memorial Scholarship, as well as the James Bruce Memorial Scholarship. So I have a unique perspective of hearing my family talk about how exciting it is to give people the opportunity to go here, while also getting that opportunity myself has been really, really special. And Mines is a great place to encourage people to attend. So thank you.
That's wonderful, Annie. Thanks for sharing that. And yeah, you're number 8. We want the Welch family to get to double digits. No pressure, but that's pretty amazing. It's cool. Then you can share stories of your different times at Mines and the different experiences. And I'm sure there's some real commonalities and there's some real differences. You care to mention any of the maybe things you guys share in the family from different eras or differences?
I'm sure, yeah. Definitely being a part of FSL has been a really nice connection between my family, because it's just a great way to meet people and kind of de-stress a little bit from school, because Mines gives you a great education, but it's also important to balance that social life too. So kind of bonding over that has been really special.
Thank you. So those are the introductions and from the students. And so I believe we're at the portion of the program where we will open it up. If you can put questions in there in the chat, and I'll kind of farm those out to either the students or to Dr. Hilman or to Dr. Johnson. We certainly want to try to provide as much information as possible. I saw there was one question already about what percentage of Mines students receive financial assistance through established scholarships. My understanding, and if President Johnson has a different, I always thought it was about 85 to 88% receive some form of financial aid. That could be broken down in a couple of different ways, but it is a high percentage. And President Johnson, I don't know if you have more info on that.
Dan, I think that's right in terms of total number of students. The percentage of our financial aid that comes through the foundation through gifts and things, I'm trying to remember the exact number. It's probably about 20% of the financial support that we give to students right now, with the other 80% coming from university sources. And obviously we're trying to increase that percentage.
Yeah, that number is very similar in my mind, Paul. I thought it was about 20%ish. So I think that's an important distinction. So please, if you will add questions to the chat, I'm sure there are questions out there. I'd love to be able to let you hear from our panel.
So Dan, while we're waiting for questions from people, I've got one maybe a few of the students could answer, and that is, obviously there's a financial benefit to getting a scholarship, and some of you are in programs related to scholarship. So if you're a Harvey Scholar or Vanguard Scholar in your program, but I'm just curious, does having the scholarship somehow, I don't know, make you feel more confident that you're going to make it through Mines, or that other people sort of believe in you, or what else is there besides the financial benefit for you? And
So the question,
Indy, I'm going to call on Indy
Yeah.
first, because she was in my class last year. So she gets picked on first.
Yeah. It's kind of a loaded question. I don't know if you saw me. I was kind of thinking, does it give me the confidence? In a way, it does. I think it'd be good to kind of also mention, my sister and I are kind of an interesting duo. Her name's Anastasia, and she's also a Harvey Scholar. And it definitely helped my parents a great deal, knowing that both their daughters are attending Mines for engineering degrees with pretty good scholarships. And just kind of thinking for her and for I, it's weird saying like, oh, just because you got this scholarship, you're automatically going to just do well. Not necessarily. I'd like to say I work hard. It doesn't come easy. I definitely had my fair shares of getting something lower than a 50 on an exam here. Like, it's gonna happen. But I kind of look to the end of the tunnel, like, as much as grades are super important, I also have to remember that like my mental health and my well-being is also important, and just kind of thinking, don't be super fixated on like what's in front of you, look to the future. And I think with that mindset, I do believe that I'll be able to have that diploma that maybe you, PCJ, will hand to me, maybe with my degree.
I'm looking forward to it, Indy. And coincidentally, exactly 24 hours ago, I was on a Zoom call with your sister. So it's a family thing this week, I guess. And I hope to see her in 3 weeks as well, crossing the stage. So I don't know. So Annie, do you feel the 27th generation Mines student, I mean, obviously, in the program that as you've mentioned, knowing the donors and everything, does that, I don't know, in some ways, does that inspire you to perform well at Mines, or to continue, or what? I don't know. Do you sort of think about them as other people who are looking at you?
Yeah, for sure. I want to make sure that I'm like upholding like expectations, and while also like having fun and enjoying my education. So it's definitely like I want to do good by them, and it's more of it's not less of a I have to do it, and more like I really want to exemplify and live up kind of to what they were hoping scholars would be, which is a very positive motivator. Yeah, and it is fun having a very big Mines community kind of around me growing up. There's a lot of like family friends who went here, so just being able to go here and also share in that experience, and really show people that if you work hard, like you can do it. It's really fun to be a part of that community and uphold kind of those things.
That's great. We are getting some questions in the chat, so appreciate our audience is curious to know from any of the students. You can just jump in, and you're all welcome to chime in. Some of our audience is curious as to why you chose Mines versus other universities you were considering. Obviously, you are all incredible students. You had probably lots of opportunities and interests. So what distinguished Mines? Why did you choose Mines?
I can go ahead and hop in on this one. For me, I knew that I wanted to go to school in Colorado. I love the state to death. Yeah, I never want to leave, but I know at some point it's probably going to happen. But I wanted to really just kind of maximize my time in the state, as well as, going to a school that is so prestigious. my dad, anytime he tells one of his coworkers or one of his guests, he's a bartender. Anytime he tells one of them that his son goes to school of mines, they're like, "Oh, you're so lucky." And, you know, it's kind of that feeling to be so proud and just kind of be able to, you know, show my family what I'm capable of, especially because a lot of members in my family, they either couldn't afford to go to college or they didn't go into a STEM career. And it was something where for a while they were kind of flip-flopping on what they wanted to do. But, you know, Mines is such a tight-knit community, and I was, you know, deciding between a few other schools versus Mines, but it really just came down to having that sense of community and kind of knowing your other students. I've always been, you know, a little bit on the nerdy side, but being able to kind of connect with other students like that who kind of share those same interests, that's so big. And especially because you find so many opportunities in a field that's growing so rapidly. There's so many opportunities coming up for all of us, and just being able to look ahead and see what careers we can go into. Mines is the perfect kind of launch pad in that. So that was kind of my reasoning behind choosing Mines over any other schools.
Great, thanks, Dane. How about others? What was your reasoning?
I guess I can go next. So for me, it was as a PhD student, it was more about the particular research path. And I was, before I started my PhD, I was more into hardcore mining, and I wanted to diversify my skill sets. And I was looking for a research, interdisciplinary research that also takes into account like data science, artificial intelligence, that sort of thing. And I found a very good and strong research offer at Mines. And I guess the other important thing here is that the faculty, and you need to have a very strong faculty that has multiple interests, not just one particular direction. And having the mining program and the computer science program and the faculty that's knowledgeable in both these areas was a very strong indicator that that was a good choice for me. And also the Mines has a very prestigious university, so it was a very easy choice. So thank you.
Oh, very good, thank you. Anyone else wish to comment? All right, well then I'll throw another question at the students here again too. So the question was, for those who do not have a firm direction or of a career path, do you rely on your scholarship provider as a mentor or a coach as preparation for World After Mines?
Something that's really cool with the Vanguard program is it's under the Women in Science and Engineering kind of program here at Mines. So the head of that, she organizes like webinars there every Wednesday. So there's SWE, and then they do like female empowerment and STEM stuff, but then there's webinars usually with faculty and staff. It's like Wednesdays with WISM, which is a really great opportunity to kind of like get guidance and hear what female professors hear, what their life has been like and what their path was, which is really good to kind of get a little bit of inspiration and learn that kind of the track you're on now, it might diverge, but it'll always kind of work out in the end. So kind of seeing that people's paths might differ, but you kind of end up in a good place. And it's really cool to kind of hear where people were, so you can kind of align that and see if something's interesting, then you can maybe try and follow their path. Or if it's not, go to a different path. So hearing kind of those female faculty talk has been really special, and being a part of Vanguard, you're also a part of SWE, which then you can go to those webinars.
So Dan, Annie just gave a great example of our scholars platform model. And since you kind of are in charge of that in a way, did you want to comment on it?
Yeah, I'll let Morgan, can you hold for a moment? Because I know you were going to say something too. So yeah, we are, it's tentatively being called the Pascal Center. And it is a new initiative that has definitely been supported heavily by the donors, for those of you out there and others as well. And it is really I think it's pretty exciting as you hopefully are familiar with the Minds at 150 plan, as we talk about really putting a even stronger emphasis on vertical integration as well as professional development. I see this platform as truly a vehicle to be able to give students a variety of different packages, pathways, experiences through this Scholars platform that will hopefully resonate very, very well with their passions and their interests, because we know our students sometimes struggle to decide what they want to do because they find so many things engaging and interesting. And so what this does is this helps coalesce this. And Dr. Colin Terry is the person that will be directing that, and that's his background. So he's doing a fabulous job as we're formulating that. So we already have some programs launched. We are having more that will be launched in the fall, and we're continuing to grow that initiative. So it's a little hard for me, Paul, in terms of what all I want to hit on, because you know me, I'll talk about it for 15 minutes. But I'm super excited about this.
Yeah, so I think, Dan, one thing that the audience might be particularly interested in, and then Morgan, you're on for sure, is that if you've heard some of our students sort of talk about their experience within cohorts. So Harvey Scholars cohort or the Vanguard Scholars cohort. You know, you get sort of a group experience, and with the group, you can do the professional development program, everything like that. Some of the people on the Zoom meeting today, Dan, are individual scholarship donors. So they might be supporting 1 or 2 or 3 students. This platform allows us to sort of group different sort of individual scholars into communities to get a Vanguard-like experience or to get a Harvey-like experience. So, so those of you out there who are kind of wondering how that might happen, we're working on that. So, Willy's scholarship support will probably be part of a Scholars platform at some point as well too. So, Morgan, jump in there.
I'd love to do it.
Yeah, thanks. I was just going to answer quickly the question from before about kind of how my scholarship has prepared me for life after Mines or for the world after Mines. Since mine is more athletics based as opposed to academics, it kind of takes the pressure off academics a little bit. Obviously it's more, for me, I see it more as like a leadership scholarship as opposed to like athletics, even though obviously it is for a sport. That sport is giving me so much in terms of leadership. And so I kind of see that as a skill set that I have built up a great foundation for that'll help me immensely after I leave college. So, yeah.
Thanks for sharing that, Morgan. I appreciate it. And Paul, thanks for clarifying that. It is important because a lot of this is coalescing parts that when they come together will create something even better and bigger. And so it retains its individual identity, but it then is blocked on with bigger things. And I think that's exciting because it's not a theory, it's going to be a practice, right? It's going to be a vehicle. So very excited about that.
And it's good Morgan got to answer because and maybe Dane should as well, because the person who asked that question is a big supporter of athletics at Mines, as well as he loves rocks too. So
if I may jump in for just a second, the feedback we are getting from the students actually is in line with what you're proposing, because many students at Mines are so involved and are kind of looking at opportunities to develop leadership skills. And they tell us quite often that it's hard to stay focused on a few things. And so perhaps the Pascal Center can guide them in that as well, because, you know, there are so many opportunities out there, right? And all the students, even on the panel, are doing much more than just purely their studies. So I think it may help them a little bit with focus.
Yeah, thanks for adding that, Willy. I really appreciate that. I do know that there was a question early on that I was circling back to, is we were asking about what was your experience applying for scholarships? And Annie is a Harvey scholar. There's some differences there. Maybe you could share a little bit on that, and then others, if you wish to share a little bit about what your experience was when applying for scholarships, because there are some distinctions.
Yeah, as far as applying for Harvey, the year I applied, it was an invite. So I got a nice little email in my inbox that kind of told me about the opportunity. And that's a more extensive application process. You submit an essay kind of how your life has embodied pay it forward, which is the Harvey motto, and like kind of like any adversities you've faced more directly or indirectly in your life and how that impacted you. And then after that, they whittle down essays, and then you go through an interview process. So then, and everything is done by the scholar body. So all the scholars, unfortunately, I was a part of the application season this year. So you read all the essays and then you whittle them down, and each essay gets read multiple times. So it's a very intensive process. And then you go to interviews. And so then those interviews are conducted by current scholars. And then after interviews, they select finalists. So yeah, it's a more intensive process where you have both an essay and an interview, but it is very unique in that it's all scholar run. Like we have within the Harvey Scholars Program, there's a Harvey board, and one of the largest positions on there is applications coordinator. So everything is very hands-on with students, which is really special.
That's great, thanks. This another, I think, an interesting question too that I see, and it's for the students, but certainly anyone can answer that, including Dr. Harriman. So the question was, since you've been a student at Mines, how have your perspectives on your learning path, meaning your degree or your career aspirations, how have they changed, and what shaped that, and why did they change?
I can answer it. I'll be honest, I wasn't really entirely sure what I was gonna do with my major. I think initially I was thinking of going down the biomechanical route for prosthetics. I was initially thinking that, and then kind of going through school as well as like my extracurriculars and going through like my TA position and becoming more and more passionate about like working with students. It really is dawning more and more upon me how like my dream when I was in kindergarten of being a teacher, I was like, I don't know if I'm going to be a teacher. I don't have the patience. Maybe I'm just looking at the wrong group of people to teach. So I'm wondering if, and it's really kind of spurred me to think more seriously in this direction, if I'm going to go back into academia after serving some time, maybe in the industry or working there, and become a professor. Because I really think it's truly inspiring to work with students and to see the future basically going onwards into the world, and kind of maybe partaking, being a faculty advisor for an organization and showing support and allyship there. It's really shaped me to think like I will definitely be using my mechanical engineering degree, but I think a part of me will eventually circle back into the university section.
How about from someone else?
I can hop in as well on that. Kind of going off of what Indy said, it's almost like that hands-on experience. So, working with students, but for me, it's really just trying to, get out in the field and see, what's working for me, what isn't. So at the moment, I'm applying to be an undergraduate researcher, and just being able to get as much hands-on experience as possible. Mines gives you so many opportunities to do that. And I cannot count the number of times that I've gone on like a tour of a different facility or something like that, and gotten some hands-on experience and realized I don't think that's what I want to do. Like, one of them was like wastewater treatment, and I'm like, maybe not. So really just trying to get as many different experiences as possible, and Mines is the perfect place to do that. So talking with any professors or talking with mentors, they give you so much feedback on what they've been through, and they can kind of share their experience with you so that you can make like the best decisions possible. But I will say that I have this general idea of what I want to do, but as I move through Mines, I'm definitely going to kind of specify that a little bit, kind of hone in on it. But besides that, it's just, taking advantage of every opportunity you're given, and really just, talking to anyone you can just to get their experiences.
Yeah, very good. Thanks for sharing that. I think we're getting close to the end of our time. We're supposed to wrap up in about 5 minutes. I would, this isn't a question that was asked, but it's coming from me as the moderator to the students. I'm curious if there is one thing that you would really like the audience today to know, one thing about you or about this experience that you're going through, and about how, you know, this philanthropy that we all do together is what kind of makes these things happen. But I'm just curious, one thing from each of you that you just want to make sure our audience knows about you or your experience or and about this whole scholarly endeavor.
I think like one thing that I would want, you know, potential donors to know is that receiving like a specific scholarship about for something that we're really passionate about, it really just emboldens us and makes us more passionate about what we're doing here at Mines, and kind of like makes us more excited about school and everything. Like specifically, since mine isn't about academics or anything, it's just athletics. It makes rugby like such a big part of my life, and that's something super unique to me and super cool. And I love telling people, you know, about rugby and everything. So I think just making sure that, you know, these scholarships allow students to be passionate about what they do and what they love to do.
Yeah, I think what I would say to donors is that it doesn't take much. Just like having those people kind of, it's so awesome to be able to attend a place like Mines, and like it doesn't take a lot to influence someone's life in a really positive way. And going to Mines is really life-changing and really impactful. So giving someone that opportunity is really, really special.
I feel like Morgan and Annie really hit it on the head. I know so many people here who have so many different passions. They're so fascinating to talk to, and anytime that you're able to really kind of show your support for them, it does really embolden them and really make them more confident in their futures and wanting to go out into the world and make an awesome change to help, you know, everyone out.
Ergen or Indy, any other element you want to add? I don't want to put pressure on you, just making sure you have the opportunity.
Well, I just want to say on final note, I think this university has very strong industry connections as well. And these scholarships coming from people with these experiences really means a lot to give us the confidence to better our interactions with the industry. So that's another way that's very useful.
Kind of piggybacking off of literally what everyone says, all of our experiences have been a bit different from one another, and it's really been thanks to our respected scholarships. Like, I know for me, and I've kind of said it from earlier, like a lot of like my experiences, like some of the work I ended up doing was because I made like friendships and connections through WISEM and through like Vanguard. So it's really impacted us in more ways than we can even think maybe in this moment. But just want to reiterate that each and every one of us is truly grateful and thankful for just the different unique experiences we all have with regards to your support.
Well, it's really well said by all of you. Thanks for adding that. And, you know, from my perspective, and I'll see if the President and Willy want to add something too, you know, it sounds cliche or trite or something to say that it's such a privilege to work here, but for me to be able to be in the middle of being able to work with donors like yourself that are out there today in this audience, and just your incredible commitment and passion for Mines, and as we continue to grow, and then to be able to also turn around and work with all these students that you see here today, as well as all of our incredible students at Mines, it is truly a pleasure, and it is truly something that you know, is really career fulfilling and career enjoying. And I just can't thank all of you enough. I get that privilege to be able to be in both those worlds on a regular basis. And it never ceases to amaze me what happens tomorrow and how amazing that is compared to what happened yesterday and what will be beyond that. And so I wanted to make sure I acknowledge our students today as recipients and our donors as the benefactors, and I just can't say enough of how much as a staff member here I enjoy being able to interact with all of you. So Willy, I don't know if you want to say a few more words, and then if you do, President Johnson, and then we will bring this event to conclusion. So,
well, perhaps briefly, there are many ways of giving. Of course, the financial support is one. But what we also hear from the students is the mentorship, the feedback is equally important. So I think it's very important for the donors out there who start the program. Please stay in touch with your students that you support. You learn so much from them.
And Willie, that's a great thought to end on, because I know some people, they, obviously they're inspired for various reasons to support scholarships, and they make that step, but they're not really quite sure what the next step in the relationship is, right? And I think for all of you who are scholarship donors or considering being scholarship donors, we want you to be active. We want you to have opportunities to meet the students. That interaction, I think, I can tell you from my personal experience, it'll make you feel wonderful for weeks afterwards. It will inspire the students in their studies and everything that they're doing, and maybe even inspire them to be scholarship donors in the future. So I think many of us have had that experience in the past, and that has led us to where we are. But please be involved. It's a great thing, and thank you so much for all of your support for these students. I saw them all nod their heads when I said maybe they'd be inspired to be scholarship donors. So the foundation has already sort of written them down as for the future. So it'd be great to keep this thing going where every generation sort of supports the next generation of students. And many of you have set up endowments that will support students for well beyond our lifetimes, which will just be fantastic. So thank you so much for all that. And Dan, I don't know if you want to wrap up.
I think that was really a great place to end on, other than, again, thanks everybody. I hope it was engaging today and educational, as well as maybe a little entertaining as well. It's good to spend an hour with all of you, and even in this forum. And I wish you all a great rest of your week. For our students, I wish you a great rest of the semester as we barrel to the finish. Good luck with everything, and we're here to help, so don't hesitate to outreach as necessary. Thank you, everybody, for attending today, and I hope you have a good rest of your day.